Welcome everyone to today's explainer. We're going to do something really, really cool today. We're drawing a line between two worlds that seem completely, totally unrelated. On one hand, you've got the highly technical, super structured 7 OSI layers of computer networking. If you work in IT, you already know this is literally the backbone of how data moves around the globe. But on the other hand, we have the incredibly profound, ancient spiritual concepts from Vedanta philosophy. We're going to see exactly how these two frameworks correlate. Trust me, by the end of this, a simple computer network might just change how you view your very own consciousness.
Okay, let's dive into this. It sounds a little bizarre at first, right? Like, can a standard IT networking framework actually explain the nature of human consciousness and reality? But as we make our bottom-up ascent today, starting from the absolute most tangible physical hardware and climbing all the way up to ultimate reality, you're going to see this perfect one-to-one mapping. It's kind of mind-blowing. We're going to build this cosmic network together, layer by layer. Now, to keep us all anchored as we climb this 7-step ladder of abstraction, we've got a delightfully easy-to-remember mnemonic. Please do not throw samosa plates away. I love this one. The first letter of each word gives us our layers: physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and finally, application. Just keep this little samosa saving phrase in the back of your mind as our roadmap. All right, section 1, senses, mind, and data. So here's our baseline. In networking, the physical layer is all about raw, unfiltered data, just binary ones and zeros. Down at the hardware level, this actually happens physically by biasing a transistor. When you power on the base of a transistor, you get a certain voltage at the collector. High voltage, we call it a 1. Low voltage, we call it a 0. That is raw binary. Now, spiritually, this perfectly mirrors our 5 physical senses: seeing, hearing, touching. They're essentially just taking in raw, disconnected points of binary data from the physical world around us. It's just raw input, pure ones and zeros of sensory experience. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we actually handle all that chaotic raw data. In computing, the data link layer steps in, grabs those random ones and zeros, and groups them into logical frames using MAC addresses. It gives the raw data its very first sense of boundaries. Spiritually, this maps exactly to the mind. In Vedanta, the mind is often treated as a 6th sense. It collects all the scattered, raw binary inputs from your physical senses, a flash of light over here, a vibration of sound over there, and it organizes them into a comprehensible frame. Suddenly, those random inputs become a recognizable image or coherent sound. The mind literally frames the sensory data. Moving up, section 2, intellect and deep-rooted desires. Okay, so the network layer in IT is all about routing. It manages IP addresses so it knows exactly where a frame of data needs to travel across the globe. The spiritual equivalent of this routing engine is the intellect. While the mind just frames the picture, the intellect steps in and tries to understand the use of that collected data. It figures out how this information relates to you and exactly where to route it in your consciousness. Just like a network layer routes IP addresses, our intellect is making the critical split-second decisions about where our mental data needs to go. So the crucial point is how this routed data actually gets transported. Layer 4 dictates reliability. Do we use TCP, which stubbornly ensures every single packet arrives perfectly intact, or UDP, which just kind of broadcasts data out there without worrying if it all lands? Well, spiritually, this relates to chitta, or as the Chinmaya mission explains it, vasana, which are our deep-rooted old desires. The strength and reliability of these ancient desires profoundly affect our mind and senses. Think about it. If you have a massive, deep desire for something, your mind transports that data with the obsessive, guaranteed reliability of a TCP protocol. The vasanas literally drive the reliability of our mental transport. Let's keep climbing. Section 3, Ego, Maya, and Sessions. On the tech side of things, the session layer manages the ongoing dialogue between devices. It determines how to start a session, how to keep it going, and how to gracefully end it. It holds the whole connection together. Spiritually, this is the Antahkarna, the inner instrument. The Antahkarna is this collective suite of your mind, intellect, chitta, and ahankar, which is your ego. Together, this mechanism maintains the ongoing session of your waking life, seamlessly keeping your inner awareness connected to the outer world. I actually want to slow down our pace right here for a second, because there is a profoundly beautiful philosophical abstraction buried in this. Part of that session manager, the Antahkarna, is the ahankar, the ego. And the ego suffers from a grand illusion. Think of the ultimate reality, Ishwar, as the true capital I. The ego is merely a reflection in a mirror. It's like I dash or I prime. But the reflection in the mirror looks at itself and falsely believes that it is the powerful doer. It thinks it holds all the power, completely forgetting it's just a reflection maintaining a temporary session. And this brilliantly illustrates our next step up. The presentation layer in computing prepares the data for the user. It handles the specific file formatting, and this is absolutely crucial, all the encryption and decryption. So what on earth is the spiritual equivalent of formatting and encrypting reality? It's Maya. Maya is the grand cosmic illusion. It acts exactly like the ultimate encryption software, hiding the true formless cosmic source code, Ishwar, and presenting it to us in a formatted, decryptable, tangible experience that our human senses can actually interact with. Maya formats the universe so we can perceive it.
Which brings us to the climax. Section 4, the ultimate cosmic application.
Let's move to and see how this builds the ultimate interface. In networking, layer 7 is the application layer. This is the screen you actually look at, where a user opens an app to create an email, write a Word document, or build an Excel spreadsheet. It's the final point of creation. Spiritually, according to this incredible correlation, the application layer is Sri Vishnu's dream. The ultimate reality is that Vishnu himself is the user sitting at the terminal, dreaming reality into existence, actively preparing the word file of our universe. Our entire existence, literally everything we perceive down through all those lower layers, is simply the application layer of Vishnu's dream. No way, right? It's just wild to think about. When you step back and look at it all together, it's breathtaking how perfectly the modern tech stack maps onto ancient spiritual wisdom. Just think about the journey we just took. From the raw binary of our physical senses at layer 1, framed by the mind at layer 2, routed by our intellect at layer 3, driven by the transport of our deep desires at layer 4, then maintained by the session of our ego at layer 5, encrypted by the cosmic illusion of Maya at layer 6, all manifesting as the grand application of Sri Vishnu's dream at layer 7. It is a flawless, 7-step journey from raw hardware straight to the divine. Which leaves us with one final, totally mind-bending question. If all of reality is perfectly structured like a computer network, operating with flawless precision from the physical hardware of our senses all the way up to the grand presentation of the cosmos, are we merely data points in the ultimate word file of Sri Vishnu's dream? It completely changes how you view a simple network diagram, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible ascent through the layers today. I really hope this explainer sparked your curiosity and leaves you eager to explore the profound interconnectedness of technology and ancient philosophy.